We're over in the Am I the Asshole subreddit with a post by Mama Rooney with two U's. Am I the asshole for yelling at a couple of boys at the fair? And did I have a Karen moment? Hi, Reddit. Hey, Karen wannabe. Mama Rooney. I, 31 female, had a moment at the fair this weekend and realized after that I may have been a Karen. I took my toddler, a 3 male, to enjoy the fair with some friends and their toddlers. They wanted to go into one of the young kid play mazes that has a couple of small obstacles, such as a punching bag maze, rope climb, and 2 swinging bridges before ending in a slide back to the ground. Oh, that's awesome. A sign at the entrance lists the rules, such as no roughhousing, swinging on the bridge excessively, etc. I went in with my toddler since he is still young and gets scared in some high places. He and I were both doing great until we hit the second and last bridge. We were a little over halfway across when it started swinging back and forth pretty violently. My toddler froze from fear and kept saying he couldn't do it. I started to feel a bit scared as well, as I have a shaky faith in fair rides / attractions, which is understandable. I tried not to think about the bridge breaking and him and I both falling and being unable to protect him. I tried to reassure him that it was just a bit further, but he wasn't budging. I waited a moment thinking the swinging rope would pass, but then I looked behind us, past our friend and her toddler, and saw 2 young boys, probably 9 to 12 years old, purposely swinging the bridge back and forth with their full body weight. I snapped. My deep mom voice came out, and I yelled at them once to stop. One boy did, but the other one stared me down and kept shaking the bridge. I stared back and yelled if they wanted to move forward, they need to stop because we aren't able to move until they do. He didn't completely stop, but he lessened the intensity enough for my toddler to start walking again, and he made it off the bridge. After we made it out safely on the ground, I started to feel bad about yelling at the boys. I think my own fear probably made it worse and more dangerous than it actually was, and I overreacted, especially because I don't know the boys and it wasn't my place to yell at them. I wish I had been thinking clearly in the moment and tried to ask them to please wait until the toddlers were off the bridge. Am I an asshole and a Karen? Fuck no. Fuck no. The attraction is over at the bottom of the slide. I'm waiting at the bottom of the slide, and as the kids come sliding down, I'm slapping them one by one, and I'm yelling at them in my deep mom voice. Who the fuck do you think you fucking are, you little shits? I'm grabbing them up by the ears. I'm telling them, point to where your parents are, and I'm bringing them over, and then I'm boxing with the parents. These cheap ass carnival rides are not made for anything but to make $1. They're not made to keep you safe. That's why the little bit of rules are there. As soon as you pay to get in, you are signing a liability waiver. I mean, you may win a lawsuit. If you fall, if an attraction malfunctions and you break your neck, but that is after you break your neck. What are these dumbass little kids doing? What movie, what TikToks are they seeing? What YouTube shorts, Instagram reels are they seeing, right? That provokes them into thinking that this kind of shit is okay. No, fuck no. No, I'm beating the brakes off little kids like this. No, wait, hold on. Let me get my life together. The slaps are enough. The cussing out is enough. Grabbing them by the ears is enough. But then you got to box the parents, because what are the parents doing? Your kids are acting up like this. You are responsible for your children. They belong to you. They are essentially legally your property, right? If your dog bites somebody and rips their arm off, that dog is being put down and you are facing Fed time potentially, right? All kinds of fines. Is it Fed time? It doesn't matter. You're facing jail time. Yes, not Fed time. It may be a federal crime, but I doubt it is, right? But if somebody's arm gets ripped off by a dog, you're going to big boy jail. You're going to prison, right? So if your kids fucking make somebody fall and hurt themselves, especially multiple kids and adults, ugh, right? Because the park, the carnival, the attractions would get a free pass. They would say, here are the rules that these kids broke, and they violently forced apart. Right, they exceeded the weight capacities limitations of the attraction for what they were capable of, and caused it to malfunction. So we are not at fault. Sue the family. The family would get sued. The kids wouldn't get sued. The family would get sued. Right? Potentially, the parents would do good. That needs to be a law. That needs to be like codified federally. Right. Right. If you're 4, let's say 4 to 12-year-old, because I don't know how juvie works age wise. I do not know how it works in the United States or other countries at all. Period. If your 4 to 12-year-old does something that causes violently bodily harm or just bodily harm to other children and or adults or property, let's say that, the parents are responsible. And we can attach fines. Yeah, we're going to separate violent bodily harm and death away from bodily harm and property damage. We're going to separate those as they should be. You have to do fines, parental education, community service, and depending on the children's age, they have to also do community service, therapy, maybe some anger management, depending on how the things are set up. And then juvie, right? Depending on the crime, is definitely on the table. Definitely on the table. But the parents also still have to pay, right? 13 to 17, the parents also have to pay. 18 if you're still in school, right? Once the summertime, once you're 18 and you're not a senior anymore, you've graduated, you're out, you've dropped out. You've dropped out of school after 16. Yeah, if you dropped out of school after 16, if you're working towards your GED or you dropped out, right? If you're just out of school post 16, out of school post 18, and you're still 18, you're still 16, 17, 18, then this is when we're treating you as an adult. This is when we're treating you as an adult. And maybe, right, we still treat you as an adult when you turn 18. Excluding like murder and the highest form of assault of the sexual manner, right? You know what I want to say, but YouTube is YouTube. Hey, they're not going to like that if I start saying that over and over again. As long as you're not doing those two things and certain degrees of those two things, because there's a wide margin for how things are set up, right? First degree, second degree, and all that. We'll set you up for jail time. We'll set you up for prison time. But you gotta finish your high school education. Maybe we might have you do it from home or online. Yep. So you aren't a potential threat, or maybe we will absolutely make you do it from home or online, so you are not around other children and potentially being a bad influence or continuously being a bad influence on other children. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I'm spitballing here. I'm just spitballing hard here. I don't even know what I'm saying at this point. honestly. But these kids' parents need to pay for their actions. They raised them, they socialized them, they had the brunt of this. And then of course school and social media and their friends go hand in hand with it as like a second and third level of like influence over them. But I couldn't imagine doing no shit like this at 9, 10, 11, 12. I couldn't imagine doing no stuff like this. I could imagine doing stupid things because my friends convinced me to. But again, I went to such a good school that the stupid shit that we did was not near this level, potentially causing bodily harm to people. Top comment. Not the assholes. Not the asshole. Rules were no swinging on a bridge. Plus, they must have seen a toddler and should have known better. Telling someone to stop is fine. It's not like you told them or yelled at them or anything. We got another one by, wait. Hold on, I think I messed up. Did I mess up? I didn't do my job. That's on me. We got another comment by a deleted user, not the asshole. This is important for kids to learn. Every kid that age goes through a phase where they think so long as their parents or teachers don't see, they can do whatever they want. Strangers giving them a clue helps them realize the importance of common courtesy, even when mom isn't watching. When I was around that age, I got yelled at for not cleaning up dog poop by some random lady. And guess what? My little ass never did that again. Ooh. You know what? Yeah. Yeah, your people definitely do shit when they think people aren't looking. That's why we have so much litter. Not only because the government refuses to pay for trash cans at intermittent places, like how New York has it set up, right? People are they're just throwing shit. But societally, if you get berated, right, by other people, if they look down at you, if there are social consequences, you will not act in certain ways, and it is good to lock that in, right? And not just the fear of consequences, but again, if you raise your kids right, they will have an understanding that this should not happen because it is not a good thing. This should not take place. This should not be done. Whew. And Eric Gwyn, I don't know how to say that word. These usernames get to me, replies, yeah, I actually think that in some ways getting corrected by a stranger makes more of an impact. Parents with the attitude of nobody can say anything to my kid, even if they're doing wrong, just results in kids failing to learn that other people are actually people whose opinions they're going to have to heed sooner to or later. Better the kids learn that sooner, it will make them more polite and like and set them up to not be little shitheads going to juvie and or jail later on, or just the fact of the matter hurting people. Because a lot of people do wrong in the world. Sorry, I gotta get my stretch on. A lot of people do wrong in the world, but they don't experience consequences for it. So they continue on doing things bad and they continue down that path. And if they don't get corrected at points early enough, even when they do get corrected later on, they continue on. They don't think it's crazy and they don't think it's bad. They don't think there's anything wrong with the way they maneuver through life. And people get hurt consistently. More and more people get hurt. Right? And what hurt people do? They hurt people. A zombie Scooby-Doo. Well, that zombie Scooby-Doo movie from back in the day was fantastic. Nobody wants to see an actual zombie Scooby-Doo. They comment, not the asshole. Sometimes it takes a village. Mean strangers fussing at your kids. You mean at your kids when they can't act right. That is not playing. Shaking the bridge is not an age appropriate, nor would the carnival like it. You should have gone farther and reported them to the ride operators. Maybe they get kicked out. Plus, with the weight on that bridge, that forceful shaking could have weakened the ropes holding it up. I would like to ask, how far was the drop? Because I doubt it was far enough to die. Those kind of things are usually only a foot or two off the ground. So why as a grown adult, were you scared? Oh, snap. They got an image of the ride. Oh, hell no. What the fuck? What are we doing? I found an image of the ride online. I'll see if it lets me share the link. It's called Raiders. By the time you're on the second bridge, you are pretty high up. I'm not sure exactly what that is. And the ride is reported to be at 25 feet off the ground. And it fucking looks like it. Oh, hell no. Hell no. That's crazy. No. I gotta save this. I gotta make sure y'all see this. Everybody be like, what the fuck is he doing right now? I'm saving the picture. My fault. Hell no. Hey, you gotta be a certain height off rip for that to even be okay. Oh, you know what? Why wasn't there a ride operator at the top? I'm actually so curious because I'm seeing in the image that there's an operator up or just a person, like a little monitor at the top. I'm wondering if they were just down at the bottom letting kids in, so they couldn't be. They didn't have enough manpower to have somebody at the top. Oh, that's just pissing me off. I don't have any more thoughts really. So we got a dumbass commenting something here, and OP replies, Polo Bandito Knox. They have rides and attractions for kids your son's age. While the kids were probably breaking the rules, you and your kid were so scared you couldn't walk. I think you were being really dramatic. You're the asshole. And OP replies, I could walk and would have preferred to keep walking, but my son stopped and wouldn't walk due to being afraid once it started swinging back and forth violently. The attraction was advertised for his age and older, so I didn't think he was too young for it. However, it was his first time on a ride on this sort of attraction, and I went with him in case he got scared in the new experience. I didn't feel it was safe to try and pick him up on the swinging bridge otherwise. I would have done that to get him across without even checking what was going on behind us. Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like that. And the way the bridge is set up, if she had picked her baby up and they kept swinging the bridge even harder, she may have got swung to one side and the baby may have went tumbling. Fuck no. Oh my God. I was imagining the bridge was looking different in my mind. I'm like, oh, maybe the kids are hiding and they're just waiting for every single person to come past, every single little baby. Because this looks like it's meant for like a 3 to 6 or 7 year old. It's meant no 9, 10, 11, 12-year old should be on this ride. It doesn't even look like parents should be on it, to be completely honest, because of how small the slide looks. But I understand why she got on there. My big ass probably would have got stuck in the slide. That's how small it looks. Legitimately, to me in the picture, that's how small it looks. This is crazy. Them kids would have got hit when they came down. Them kids would have absolutely got punched when they came down. No. For the last story of the day, we are here with the coup de grace.